Hello there everyone, and welcome to another edition of Lydia's Crafty Corner with me, Lydia, in my little crafty corner. So today I am going to be sharing with you 4 ways with the beautiful Big World dies. Now these dies can be used with the matching die set, but I do also believe that you can use them alone on their own. So as I said, I'm going to be using the Big World, but not the Big World stamp set, just the dies for this one. So for my first idea, I am going to use a piece of pattern paper. This is from the Verdant Walk, and I'm going to take the round globe little die cut here, and I'm just going to cut a lovely piece of pattern paper using that round circle that we do have there. So as you can see, I am using my mini blossom, so I just cut it into size so I can just run it through. I'm only going to run it through the once. We do have a basic shape going on, so I'm not going to worry too much about it, and it does cut perfectly. I'm then going to use the little globe holder. I'm not sure what it's called, but that's what we're going to call it, a globe stand. And I'm going to cut this out of some gold mirror cardstock. Now the die has little bits in it, so it kind of indents little axes around the little stand, so hopefully you can see that there, and it does look very, very pretty. Now I'm going to add my little image to a mat and layer. Now the paper that I'm going to be using, I don't want to waste the inside part that no one's going to see, so I'm going to kind of gut this. I know it's not a nice word, but that's what we call it over here in the UK. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take a paper trimmer, and I'm just going to get rid of the inside bit that's not going to be seen, and I am then going to be able to use that part on a future project. This is my favourite piece of pattern paper, so I don't want to waste any of it, and I know that I will use this little bit that I have left over on a future project. So as you can see, when I pop my little white layer on top of the mat, you're not going to be able to see that I have cut in between that little pattern paper. So it's gonna stretch my supplies. I'm then going to use the Across the Pond stamp set. Now the Across the Pond does have the British English spellings, so that is the one that I am going to use. I'm going to then attach my globe stand into place using a little bit of the Altenew tape pen. And then I am going to attach my flowery little globe that I have going on now with a little bit of foam tape. So this is going to give me a little bit of dimension, but not too much. It's just going to look very, very pretty. And I know that these globes are all the rage with the flowers on. I'm then just going to add some glue to my little mat that we have going on, pop my layer on top, and then I'm going to attach all of this onto a card base. And that is my first card and first idea then complete. So I just love how this one turned out. I'm then going to do my second idea. So that I'm using a piece of watercolor cardstock, and I'm adding some water to the back and the front so it doesn't move around while I'm doing my watercoloring. I'm then going to be using the watercolor palette set, so this is the normal one, and I'm just going to create a little bit of a galaxy sky. So I've started off with a little bit of sun-kissed, add a little bit of crimson. I'm now using some of the desert night and also the galactic stream, and then some of the purple, which I think I went for the deep iris, or you could use the midnight violet. It's completely up to you. And then to darken it all up, I've just used some of the jet black. And as you can see, I'm not really paying that much attention. I'm just kind of dripping and dropping some colour in. I'm then going to add a little bit of interest by flicking some of the beautiful metallic watercolours in. I've used the sterling silver, some of the gold, and also the rosy goldy colour as well, which was very, very pretty. So this is still wet, so they're going to kind of move around. I then let my panel dry, and I'm going to add the same colours again with a little bit of splatter to create more of a star effect. So the first ones that we add in, because they were onto the wet, they kind of spread into the wet, but these ones are going to keep a perfect circle shape there. I'm then going to take the round globe part of the Big World die set, and I'm just going to cut around that, and then I'm going to die cut that again using my mini blossom. So if you were using a bigger die cutting machine, you wouldn't need to snip your paper if you don't want to. So you can see just how pretty that is, and the beautiful metallic watercolors look really, really cool. So to get the same effect, this is my third idea, you can also use washi tape. So we have 2 washi tapes with a galaxy theme. We have the watercolor nebula and the galaxy as well. And I'm just using one of these and I've just added it onto a piece of white cardstock, and then I'm again going to cut that using the globe part. So I have two different looks for a galaxy sky on my little globes that we have going on here. I've used a sentiment again from the Across the Pond stamp set, and I've used that with some obsidian. I'm going to use some of the gold colours just to add a little bit of splatter to the back of each of the cards that we have going on here, and then I'm going to adhere my pieces into place. So as before, I'm using some glue tape to add the little globe stand. Again, I've cut this out of some gold mirror cardstock because I think it looks very, very pretty. And then I'm going to add the little galaxy globes that we have going on with some foam tape just to add a little bit of dimension. And I love how they look when they're a little bit popped off. You could kind of shape these if you wanted to, give them more of a rounder feel, but I didn't do that on these. I should have. So there we go with that. And then we're going to move on to my fourth idea. So this is the fourth and final one. This time I'm going to cut my globe first, and I'm cutting this out of some jet black cardstock. So for this one, I'm going to create kind of a chalkboard look. I do love the look of the chalkboard globes. So we have a flowery one, we have a galaxy two galaxy ones, and now we're going to have a chalkboard one. So I've cut that out using the circle piece. And I'm going to use the Oh Happy Day mini stamp set for this one. You could use lots of different stamp sets, but I did find that this sentiment just fit perfectly onto my little globe image. As I am going to be embossing this, I've added a little bit of anti-static powder, and then I'm going to ink this up using some of the embossing ink from Altenew. So I'm just going to stamp that down. Once that is stamped perfectly, I'm then going to add some embossing powder over the top. I am using the pure white embossing powder from Altenew, and it's one of my favourite embossing powders that I keep going to again and again. Now I would recommend that you do let your heat tool heat up before you try to do any embossing, because that's going to stop any warping going on. I'm then going to use the little flower images that I do have in the Oh Happy Day stamp set, and I'm going to do this little by little. You could do it all at once if you wanted to, but I wasn't quite sure how I was going to have these going on. So I've used a large flower, a small flower, and then I've used kind of the little sprig flower, shall we say, and then I added another flower in because I do like the odd number of flowers, and then I've just added some leaves as well. So there's a really large leaf in there, but you don't necessarily have to use the whole of it. So that's what I've done. If it goes over any of the other images, you can just knock that embossing powder off. To give it more of a chalkboardy feel, I've just got some white embossing ink, and I'm just going to add this with a finger dauber. I then have some paper from the Essential Rock collection. I'm just going to add this down the side. I wanted to add a little bit more of interest to this card, as it is mainly black and white with a little splash of that gold there. I just can't help using the gold mirror cardstock for the globe stand. So here are all of the cards complete. So I hope you do like these 4 ideas. So we have a flowery globe, we have a washi tape galaxy sky, we have a watercolor galaxy sky, and then we also have the chalkboard look as well. So again, here are the 4 cards. I really do hope that you like the techniques shown here. Also, if you do create something that was inspired by this, it would be great if you do share, because we would love to see it. Also, if you don't want to miss out on any videos that we do upload to the channel, it would be great if you do subscribe. And there are a couple more videos here to watch at your own leisure. I really do hope that you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you really soon. Bye-bye.